Years after the smoke cleared from the ruins of Troy, the Greek kings who survived the long war had mostly found their way home. Some returned to triumphant welcomes, others to heartbreak and betrayal. But one legendary figure was still missing: Odysseus of Ithaca, the man whose sharp mind had shaped so many victories. While his son Telemachus faced growing danger near Ithaca, Odysseus woke refreshed in the palace of the Phaeacians, ready for whatever this new day would bring. If you're enjoying this journey through the Odyssey, please take a moment to subscribe and share the podcast with a friend who loves great stories. Welcome to our journey through Homer's The Odyssey. Today we're diving into Book 8, The Games and the Bard. The next morning, King Alcinous called an assembly of the Phaeacian nobles and announced that a stranger had come among them, seeking passage home. He proposed they prepare a ship and crew to carry Odysseus on his way. The people agreed with one voice, and soon a fine vessel was made ready. To honor their guest, the king arranged athletic games: running, wrestling, jumping, and boxing. The young Phaeacian men competed with strength and skill, while Odysseus watched from his seat of honor. When one of the princes, Laodamas, invited the stranger to join the contests, Odysseus politely declined at first, saying his heart was heavy with thoughts of home. But when another youth mocked him, suggesting he looked more like a merchant than an athlete, Odysseus's pride flared. He rose, seized a heavy discus far larger than the others had thrown, and hurled it with tremendous force. The stone flew well beyond all previous marks. Then Athena, still guiding events unseen, gave him even greater strength and grace. Odysseus challenged any of them to compete with him in any feat, except perhaps the bow, which he left untouched for now. The Phaeacians were impressed, and a new respect for their mysterious guest spread through the crowd. Later that evening, as they feasted once more in the great hall, the blind bard Demodocus was called forward. The singer, beloved by the muse, began to tell stories of the Trojan War, tales of famous heroes and the long siege. When he sang of the wooden horse and the fall of Troy, of how Odysseus had devised the cunning plan that brought victory, the king's guest could no longer hold back his emotions. Odysseus covered his face with his cloak and wept openly. King Alcinous noticed the stranger's tears and gently asked him to reveal his true name and the full story of his wanderings. The hall grew quiet, every ear turned toward the guest. For Odysseus, this moment marked another turning point. Among these kind and noble people, surrounded by music and hospitality, he stood on the edge of sharing the long tale of his journey, and perhaps at last, finding his way back to the shores of Ithaca. Telemachus is drawing dangerously close to home and the suitors trap, while Odysseus prepares to tell the story of his many adventures to the Phaeacians. Join us next time in Book 9, The Cyclops. The hero finally begins recounting his own tale, starting with the fateful encounter that earned him the lasting anger of Poseidon.